What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Eternal Understudy here with another distraction from an otherwise productive day, and today's distraction is going to be a little bit like the last one. World of Warcraft Legions. We're going to be fighting this guy called Serpentrix. He's actually a boss in the Eye of Ashara dungeon, and I'm going to be showing you kind of how to solo him as a demon hunter. I am in pretty decent gear. I'm like 830 something, I believe. Now, when I first tried to pull this guy, something kind of weird happened, and I think it's an instancing issue that World of Warcraft has had in this expansion so far. It should be coming up here in just a moment. I got Toxic Wound, and... where is it? Come on, come on, I know you're in there. I go back to the boss loading screen, there it is. So what had actually happened was it ended up kicking me out of the instance. I'm not sure why it's been doing this, but it's happened a few times when I'm with groups and when I'm trying to do this solo, which is really irritating because farming this instance is pretty easy with a group, but trying to kill all the mobs before the boss is a pain in the ass because they take forever. I think it takes like maybe 10-15 minutes to clear the trash and then maybe another 6 minutes to clear the boss. So anyway, we're going to skip ahead and then I'll show you guys how to solo on at least Heroic. I haven't tried Mythic yet, but on this one is on Heroic. Serpentrix out of Eye of Ashara, Demon Hunter, solo. Be right back with that information as I jump around and do some parkour tricks here. And we're back to the actual boss fight. So, as a Demon Hunter, this is actually pretty easy. Really, the only thing you have to do is stay out of melee range after the first pull. If you can, just use your taunt. And what he's going to do is basically do this AoE attack, which, if you're in a group, it's kind of hard to heal through because it does quite a bit of damage. It's called Rampage. Now, the first instinct as a tank would be to interrupt. That's the opposite of what you want to do. You actually want to let him go ahead and cast Rampage, because he just kind of spins around and doesn't ever damage you because you're a Demon Hunter and you can you can outrun anything. So, that's what I'm doing here. When you get close to the end of that cast, you want to run away again. If you're within melee range where that timer actually ends up completely going off, he'll cast Toxic Wounds on you. Now, that's kind of a pain in the ass to deal with because not only will it slow down your run, but it could also potentially kill you if you're an idiot and stand at it, which you don't do that. So, as you can see here, I got Toxic Wound. Now, the issue with this was, it was actually when he first submerged, so I wasn't actually in melee range. I think this might happen just as part of kind of the fight. So you might have to deal with at least one Toxic Wound. Now, this red guy has to die pretty quickly. He does a little bit of damage to you, but for the most part, it's pretty negligible with the self-heals that a Demon Hunter actually has equipped. As you can see, I pretty much have my... oh Jesus, I think it's Fury. I don't even remember what the actual thing is, but you basically want to keep that completely topped off, so if you do need to heal, you can just pop that ability real quick, as you can see, and you're right back to full health. It's actually a pretty easy strategy. This guy you can interrupt if you want, but again, it's pretty negligible. Now the next guy, the blue guy, is a little bit different. So he does Arcane Blast. It does a little bit more damage. Kind of a pain in the ass to deal with because he's also doing melee attacks. It didn't seem like the red guy was actually doing any kind of melee attack, so it was just the fire ability unless you interrupt. It looks like in between each cast of Arcane Blast from this guy, he actually swings you for a little bit of melee damage. So what I was doing is I basically let him cast because it didn't really hit me all that much, and then you at least know what kind of damage you're getting yourself into. You can feel free to interrupt if you want, but I found that the melee damage that they do is actually more damage than the actual spells that they cast, so it almost makes more sense for them to just be able to cast whenever they feel like, just free cast, and then heal up in between. So, here I'm just kind of running away from the eruption, because as soon as you kill those ads, you want to look at the boss, and if he's close to the end of his eruption cast, you want to stay away from him. As soon as he begins it again, you can run up and basically start tanking him like this. Because if you pull him a little bit too soon, or you run back into the fight a little bit too soon, you'll actually get Toxic Wound on you because you'd be in melee range while he's doing, or while he's about to end that ability. So right here I kind of ran into that issue, or almost ran into it. I kind of got a little bit cocky, just a little bit, and I decided, you know what, I'm not going to run from this. what I'm going to do is just burn him down as much as I can. I'll get close to the end and then I'll boost off. Now that first time I actually got pretty lucky, but towards the end here I thought for whatever reason I could actually burn his health down. Now at this point I think he's at about 5 million health, and I'm only doing about maybe 50 or 60k DPS single target, because single target DPS on tanks isn't great. And you see there, I didn't get away fast enough, I have Toxic Wound. So what's kind of a pain in the ass is if I was closer to that boss, I wouldn't actually be able to kite him in a circle, because I'd have Toxic Wound on me, and I would actually put it all the way around the boss, which you don't want to do. So the best thing to do is just run away from the boss. He doesn't seem to have like an aggro reset or anything where if you run too far, he'll actually reset entirely. I don't want to test that, or I didn't test it, so just be wary of your positioning. But I didn't really have too much trouble here. I almost got Toxic Wound again, but I was able to somehow pull it off. And then towards the end here, you'll see that I almost lose no health during the entire fight. And again, this is on Heroic. The hardest part of this entire thing was actually killing the mobs leading up to the boss. Luckily enough, I didn't have any seagulls in the party, or at least near me. And if you've done Eye of Ashara more than once, you know that those seagulls can be a real bastard to deal with. So there it is, folks. Serpentrix is down. Solo Demon Hunter. My DPS, I think it was at like 844 item level when I switched over to my tank, because my weapon wasn't really that increased. I was maybe at like 830 and change. So you have to be somewhat geared to be able to kind of out-heal the damage, but for the most part, pretty simple to do. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much. I just said guys way too many times. Thank you guys so much for joining me as my player 2 on today's Distraction. Definitely fun video to do. Got my Blood of Sergeris, which I need 1 million of. And I was able to kind of show you guys what you can do on a Demon Hunter, as long as you're a little bit more comfortable with the class. You know the abilities, you know to pop your cooldowns when you need to. But you know what? It was just a blast to kind of go in there and kick that thing's ass after failing so many times. So if you like this content, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. One thing I forgot to mention in the video is a fellow guildie by the name of Death Ari, or Death Ari. She couldn't figure out which one she wanted. Was able to actually help me out with the music in this video. She was able to pick it out for me from NCS, the Non-Copyright Sounds, which is a fantastic service that really any YouTuber should be using, if you like the music at least. So shout out to her, or him, I'm not actually sure, so whatever you are, good job. Love the track, and hope you guys like the video. Alright, I'll see you guys in the next one.